where can you find a gap and fill it? I will give you a couple of ideas, but you need to brainstorm them. If your mayor is a Democrat, think about this. If your mayor is a Democrat, I guarantee you between your mayor and your city clerk, depending on the form of government your city has, they need staff they can't afford to provide. What would it mean if when you go and approach your mayor about young Democrats or college Democrats, rather than coming and asking for money, you come and ask them, would it be beneficial to your office? Tell them that you want to engage, you want to engage them in a relationship. Would it be beneficial to their office if your organization for a semester could hire an intern to work for them? And I guarantee they're going to say yes. They're going to want it. Then think about what it would mean. Think about how this can affect you personally and your organization. Now, all of a sudden, you have somebody working not just in a campaign. Now, if there's a campaign going on, this might not be the most appropriate thing to do. Next semester would not be necessarily the right semester to do this. But think about what it would mean if you, as a chapter president or as a chapter leader, were now not only participating in campaigns, but we're now bringing people in to actually participate in governing. Now you're actually there in the office working on the politics of government, not just the politics of the campaign. Think about what it means if you are particularly diligent in finding a city that really needs it, or a mayor that really needs an assistant, or a city clerk that really needs an assistant. So they're relying on you. Now if you continue thinking about the idea that maybe instead of hiring that intern from your college, you hired it from a nearby community college and made a condition of it being that they had to create a chapter at their community college and help you create a chapter at a high school. Now, what's going to happen? That semester goes by. If you have been diligent and you have picked an intern who wants it bad, wants it, that they would do it for free if they could, and someone who is smart and will do a good job, they're actually working in government. Now think about this. The semester's over. You go to the mayor and you ask them, do you want to do it again? The mayor's going to say yes. You ask them if they can pay half. And then you raise some more money. We'll talk about how to do that in just a moment. And now they're paying half or all of that stipend. Now the next semester you hire somebody to go back to the mayor's office, but because the mayor's paying all or half, now perhaps you get somebody to go and clerk for the county administrator. So now your chapter is staffing and participating in the governance of your city and of your county. And you're using community colleges and you're using high schools to be a part of it. And now an election cycle has come along. And they really need people who can be organized and be involved. And I guarantee you, you're all from different counties, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there's a 9 out of 10 chance most of you live in counties where the County Democratic Party, the median age is about 75. Am I right? There's certain things they're not going to be able to do. But now, who knows students at your college and at the community college and at the high school? So now you've got somebody working in municipal government. You have an in directly to the mayor. You have an in directly to the board of supervisors, the sheriffs, everyone from the tax collector, the tax assessor. Now you also are being called upon to help someone to help in an election cycle because they need something that they can't get. And quite frankly, normally couldn't pay for because they wouldn't even know how to get it to the people. And now you're responsible for all of that. And now in 2 years, your college chapter has gone from 15 to 25 people to being one of the political centers of your area. You do that by finding a need and filling it. If you make friends with somebody, you go and you make friends with the mayor, or whomever it is you're making friends with, because you want that man or woman to bring you to the table. You're setting yourself up to fall. You come to me and you say, I want to get a job in Jackson, or I want to go to Washington and I need you to help me with somebody who maybe you know, which is something myself and Kenneth have done for quite a few of the Young Democrats. Those of you who might be thinking about going to Washington and wanting internships, we can definitely help you. But if you're in Jackson especially and you say, I want you to kind of bring me to the table where decisions are made. If someone brings you to the table, they can throw you off the table whenever they're ready. If you really want to have access, if you really want to make a difference, if you want your opinion to count beyond just where you're going to get applause for it, don't ever ask someone to bring you to the table. Bring yourself. Have a seat there that they can't take from you. And you do that lots of different ways. You can do it by either having a lot of money or the ability to raise a lot of money. It's just a fact. It costs a lot of money to run races, to run an election. Now, who here is a millionaire or really close to one? Somebody wants somebody to raise their hand. Y'all might want to get another set later right here. But, so if that's not you, what do you have to offer? That's what you have to decide as an individual, but also as an organization. What is it that you can offer that you can see a problem? You really can't write a $5,000 or $10,000 check to a campaign, but maybe you can do the work of some of that or most of that, and you become just as relevant as the person who wrote the check. Who here is in a college or a university? One or two. Okay, everybody. All right. USM. How many people are at your school?
16,000.
16,000.
Between the two.
I saw Alcorn State is up here. How many people go to Alcorn State? Let's use Alcorn, it's a little bit smaller. 3,500. How many active members do you have in your chapter at Alcorn State? A good 10 active members. Now think about this for just a moment. If 90% of the students at Alcorn State, for whatever reason, were decidedly not Democrats, and that's a lie, but let's just pretend for the purpose of this, 90% of students at Alcorn State were not Democrats. That means about 350 people at your campus are decidedly Democrats. And if 90% of those could not participate, then that would mean you'd have about 35 active members. If you take the student body and you make it 10%, and you lose 90% of that because they're busy and can't come, you still should have about 35 people. Now, don't worry, I'm about to hit USM even harder. Y'all got 16,000 people. Am I needing to stop?
Between the two campuses.
Go ahead. How many people are in Hattiesburg?
10.
About 14,000, I believe.
12.
No idea.
About 12,000. So let's do this routine with you again. If you got 12,000 people there, 90%, which is not true, but 90% of them were not Democrats, then you would have about 1,200 Democrats on that campus. Now, you've got many more than that. But let's just say you had 1,200. 90% of those couldn't show up. You should have 120 active members. How many active members do you have?
Probably about the same 10.
Yeah.
About the same 10. Every campus has got that little lock about 10 people just don't have nothing else. No, I'm kidding. But if you have 100, but let me ask you this. Why is it that at a campus that is almost entirely African American, that poll would be probably in the 70th percentile Democratic, the most integrated campus in Mississippi, probably in the American South, has about 10 members? Why is that? Why do you think Alcorn State doesn't have more active members?